Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in a vehicle that most people don't know or care about, and that is the T-2020. This vehicle is 5 years old now, and it was released as a 2020 special tank. It's interesting because the vehicle itself looks pretty cool, and it actually has surprisingly good armor. Its upper plate is around 280 millimeters thick when on flat ground, which is, as I said, surprisingly good. In general, I don't think the T-2020 is the worst tank ever. It's just not the best tank ever. It's kind of eh. But the thing is, this is actually becoming a tier 9 in World of Tanks Blitz Reforged. And I'm not entirely sure what to think about that. I mean, you guys can let me know in the comments whether you think this is a good change or a bad change, but yeah, it's becoming a tier 9, which is really interesting. That's all I can say. It's just an interesting decision. I don't really know what to say. But we're going to try and have some fun in this vehicle, see how the armor works, and let you know if this is a vehicle you should consider picking up when it does become a tier 9, because you have to remember, if you buy it now, when it does hit stores at some point, it will become a tier 9 at the future. So, you know, maybe it's not a bad idea to consider picking this thing up. But should you pick it up or stay away from it? Well, we're going to do a couple games and see what it does. As always, if you enjoy content like this, make sure to smash that subscribe button. So we got a Borsig right in front of me, and I'm going to very quickly... Aw, dang, I guess I'm shooting the Jagdtiger 88. I didn't have the reload to shoot the Borsig, and I bet you that player isn't running Spaliner, but they still have a really, really nasty gun, which I got to be careful of. We're just going to load a gold shell and pen the Jagdtiger's upper plate. Nice thing about having good heat pen is it doesn't really matter what you're aiming at. It's usually a pretty easy penetration. Now, this Borsig does scare me a little bit, I won't lie. Got the Dracula over here. Dang it. I mean, I'm not too worried. Dracula does pen me, but as long as we back up, we're totally fine. So we got the Tiger 2 all the way on the other flank. And I might go for the Tiger 2. I don't think it's a bad play. Let's do that. Full speed ahead. Tiger should be a pretty easy target to take apart, though. I like that this tank actually had a lot of effort put into it. It's got decent animations. When you shoot, the shell casing ejects out of the top of the vehicle. It is actually pretty cool. You can see that there, the shell casing pops out. Wargaming put some effort into this vehicle, and it's one thing that I do appreciate. It's a shame it's such a mid-tank, but you can see when we're in third person here, the shell casing plops right out, or actually maybe the shell casing doesn't plop out, but you can see the shell being put into the tank, which is kind of cool. So we're going to reload. We got a little bit longer. 3, 2, 1, and bonk. There you go. 360 damage into the Tiger, and that puts us up to 2,300. What's interesting about this vehicle is it's kind of just a better IS-5. It goes at a similar rate of speed. I'm not sure where this Charioteer is going, but alright. But yeah, it has a similar rate of speed to the IS-5, but I'd argue that its armor is quite a bit better on the upper plate. And I'll showcase that while we're in queue for this next game. I'll pull up the armor profile and show you what it's kind of working with. So let's head over here. And there you go, we got the Jagdtiger in front. Now, because, again, we're running Kali, we can just go right through the Jagdtiger, so it's not like I have to worry about that. Then we can back up, crack our fingers a little bit, reload. There's no way that this Jagdtiger is still trying to fight me, right? I mean, dude, this is not going to go well for you. Oh, he got really lucky that that shell didn't go where I wanted it to. Oh, well, 5 seconds left on my reload. 3, 2, 1... I mean, if you're going to expose your entire hull like that, you might as well just sign your tank away. So we got the Dracula and the LT on me. And I want to shoot the Borsig, but we'll see. Let's see if I can kill him with a high explosive. Boom, nice. As I said, I knew that that player wasn't running Spaliner, so I wasn't too worried. The LT is dead, and now all that's left is the Dracula. So now we're going to have to chase down this Dracula, is basically what I've deduced. But we might... Oh, dang. I was going to say we might be able to snap him. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Well, Charioteer's trying to cut him off, and the Charioteer is a fairly fast tank, so let's just hope. Nope, the Charioteer misses. Well, this tank isn't slow, but it's definitely not fast. It's kind of just average. So because of that, well, There you go. Nice. The Charioteer. It does get the clear. Solid stuff. So what I wanted to do is take a look at this thing's armor profile while we are waiting for the post-game results to load. So let's see. T2020. Alright. And then let's take a look at the post-game results. 3,400 damage. Top on the team. Pretty good stuff. Not too bad at all. And then while we're in queue, let me show you guys what we're working with when it comes to the armor profile. So this here is the T2020, and I'm running enhanced armor. So on flat ground, this tank's upper plate is about 240. Now, this tank is 6 degrees of gun depression. With gun depression, it's about 280. But you have to remember that, like, most tanks load in gold, when they aim on this thing's upper plate, it's about 270 thick. It's actually pretty reliable. And using just the 6 degrees of gun depression it has, it's over 300 on that upper plate, going all the way to 330. And the turret, as we can see, is also pretty dang strong. Even loading gold, it's very hard to cut through this thing's turret. Now, if it turns it to the left or to the right, it's a very easy pen. But dead on, it's actually a pretty dependable tank in terms of the armor. And if we compare the T2020 to the IS-5, for example, you'll notice that the IS-5 not only has less gun depression, but in general just doesn't have as much armor, right? On flat ground, the IS-5's upper plate against heat, it's about 290. Full gun depression, it's about 320. So maybe it is a little bit better on the IS-5's armor, but this thing's lower plate is half the size. So I still consider the T2020's armor to be more effective than the IS-5's. We'll have to see really what happens to this tank, though, when it becomes a tier 9. But yeah, I actually like this thing. I hate to say it, but I kind of like the T2020. Ever since it got buffed a couple years ago, and its armor was increased on the turret and the hull, it kind of throws a lot of players off. Standard shells don't reliably pen this thing, and because the lower plate is about half the size of your normal IS series tanks, you can see like this here, it's really easy to just hide my lower plate. And then I'm actually pretty good in the armor department. So we have the AMX M4, IS Touche. Alright, we're gonna flank quickly here, and let's aim it on the AMX, aiming, and boom! Nice 415 damage shell into that player. Alright, not bad. We have the IS Touche moving up as well. I'm gonna move over here, see if we can hit that IS-2, aiming. 8 years of aiming later, boom! Nice! This gun's surprisingly hitting most of its shots so far, up to 850 damage, and not too bad. Alright, let's keep moving up. I have to get in there fairly quickly to support my team, because as we can see, our team's not doing very well. So let's get over here, and I'm hoping that we can hit that Panther 88. Let's slow down a bit, and then aiming. Boom! Nice, 365. It is a low roll, and unfortunately that low roll allows the Panther to now kill my Lorraine, but at least they are a one-shot. Okay. Well, I mean, we're doing fine. I unfortunately don't have too much support, though. Ooh, yeah, we're definitely not going to win this game. I mean, just looking at what's going on in this battle, it's clearly cooked. Our whole team is just dead at this point. Maybe I can get some damage into the Annihilator. Let's see. Come here, Annihilator. I'd like to fight you. Okay, a bounce. I like how the Annihilator has more troll armor than like most tier 8s. It is pretty crazy when you think about it. We have the SP, who I'm going to load a high explosive shell on, and oh, okay. Apparently our shell just didn't shoot. And then the Annihilator takes 600 off me. Bruh. But I wanted to shoot the SP anyway, so I don't really care. Alright. Well, let's reload. See if I can get some bouncers from the Annihilator. I mean, he's not going to outmaneuver me. Unfortunately, we have everything else on our rear, so it doesn't really matter now, does it? Even if we get bounces from the Annihilator, we have the ISU and every other tank. We did 2,000 damage, which isn't bad at all. It's just one of these games where your team sucks, and there's nothing you can do about it. If our 53 TP had pushed with me immediately and flanked, we might have been able to take apart the enemy team and win. But, I mean, you guys saw what happened. It's just one of those unfortunate circumstances. Well, let's take a look at the post-game results. I'm quite confident that we finished top, and probably by double the next highest. I did 2,100, and yeah, that was a pretty bad team. 0 damage Lorraine. That's a real shame as well, because the Lorraine is such a powerful tank when used properly. But at the end of the day, if you don't have it used properly, you're not going to get wins. set it back over to display capture as well. Okay, well, we got 2 more games planned, and hopefully they go better than that last one. I mean, the T-2020 itself did fine. I mean, you saw the Annihilator could not pen me frontally. The one downside I will say this tank has versus maybe an IS-5 is that it doesn't have as reliable side armor. The IS-5 side armor is much more robust. It's better against high explosive. But again, I'm really interested to see how Wargaming is going to be changing the armor profile of this vehicle when Reforged comes out. It's one of the few things that I am intrigued about, right? I mean, Wargaming for some reason decided, with all the things going on with Reforged, that they wanted to change a couple tanks tiers. Now, we have that same AMX on our team that was on the last team, and I guess that's fine. That AMX wasn't too bad. Alright. Well, what do we have? Kampfpanzer 70, M3 Yo, and a Bisante. Alright. That's pretty dangerous, actually. We're going to chill here. And I saw that stuff break. Hello? Interesting. Okay. KPZ just... Okay. Alright. Where, dude? Where? Oh my god, he hit that corner? Wow. I wish I was that good at the game. I wish I could just, you know, shoot somebody for 570 on the move and pen the shot. I truly do. But no, how dare I? There's no point even trying poke. He'll just obliterate me. Because it's a tier 9 with much more alpha than me. But we do end up penetrating the shell on the KPZ, so that's good. The Yo is going to push. And, okay, nice. Well, the Kampfpanzer is now cooked. It took our team a little bit of time to actually make a play, but now that they did, the enemy's done. Unfortunately, the armor on this tank will not hold up to tier 9s. It's always been my biggest gripe with tier 8, is that tier 8 is fun, but the moment you go up against higher tier vehicles, your armor is just useless. And, you know, tier 9s don't have bad armor against tier 10s. That's the weird part. Like, most tier 9s can actually pretty reliably get bounces against tier 10s. Look at the 7.52. Look at the ST1. I mean, that's just a couple. I could name them the Moishin, the Mouse Tank, VK45, E75. There's so many tier 9 heavies which are arguably just as strong as tier 10s. But unfortunately, okay, come on AMX, bruh. I really wanted to shoot that Jagdpanther, but he just stopped right in front of us. But yeah, you know, when you look at tier 8s, just most of them don't really stand up against tier 9s. Their armor isn't that good. It is nice that the penetration of a couple tier 8s is buffed, and calibrated shells kind of helps out lower tier vehicles more than higher tier. So I guess that's kind of like an indirect buff. Got the Bisante. I'm just trying to get in there. Thankfully, this tank does go around 40-ish kilometers per hour, so we're fast enough to get in the position here. I'm going to aim it on the rear of that Jagdpanther. There you go. Nice 390. We're up to 1,800. How much can we ram this guy for? Not bad. That put us over 2,000 damage. All right. Well, we're definitely not going to deal any more damage in this game, but this is an alright battle. 2,085. We got a win, and we supported our team. But yeah, armor against tier 9s. Doesn't matter what tier 8 you're in, apart from a few, like the Semovente Contracaro 64, or the Vipera, the Grom, you know, apart from those few tanks, your armor isn't going to be incredibly reliable. So that's always something you're going to have to keep in mind. Either way, let's do one last battle in the T-2020. And see how it goes. So far, it's been a pretty average experience. I can't say that it's been the most enjoyable gameplay, but the gun actually hasn't been as bad as I expected it to be. I'm not sure if this gun is worse or better than the other Soviet heavies. I would assume that it's probably the same, but maybe it is slightly better on dispersion or aiming time. Either way, Wargaming decided to give me another tier 9 match. We got a 7.52 and an E75, of course. I had to mention those two tanks, and now we're up against them. Might as well go to the town, because that's probably where our team's going to go. And in this tank, I am very team-dependent, so we'll see what happens here. Full speed ahead. IS-8's going to move over there. I don't really know where I want to drive. I think we're going to chill in this area here. You'll notice the power to weight ratio on this thing is really bad. It is so slow on acceleration and uphill driving. It's not a slow tank, as you've seen in some of the games we've played. It's just some of the times you use it, it's really, really slow on power to weight ratio. Once you're up to speed, you know, it's decent at maintaining it, but it's definitely not going to be great at accelerating. So far, oh, that's not good. Okay. Lost 475. I'm gonna... Oh, God. I hate this position I'm in. I'm leaving. I'm fast enough that I think I can cross this before the 75 gets a shell. And there you go. Nice. Okay. Wait for the 75 to shoot the IS-8. There you go. Now we can aim it on the 75's lower plate. We do have to load gold, but we at least are able to pen these 75s. That's the good news. Yeah, I don't know what the heck the enemy team is doing this game. IS-8 DPM goes burr, though. Oh, that's a VK100. Let's back up. I guess they're kind of oblivious and didn't even see me. Alright. Oh. Dang it. Alright, well, let's aim it on the VK. Nice. 500 as well. That's a pretty juicy roll. Okay, well, we're up to 1600 damage already, which isn't too bad. Even though that Ho-Ri stock, it still features a really dangerous gun, because that stock gun is the top gun for the tier 8, so it is still quite, yeah. Bro just will never, ever bounce. Okay. Okay. Why do I even bother? Why? Why do I even bother? I'll never get good RNG. Alright. Well, we got the VK100 in front, and boom. As I said, why do I bother? Why do I bother trying when it's a Soviet gun, and your RNG is going to be always terrible with a gun like this? Okay. Alright. Well, that was not a very enjoyable experience there. We are going to win, but definitely a much better example of where the tank is not very enjoyable. As I said, I do like the T-2020 when you compare it to the other Soviet heavies, but in the overall scale of enjoyment, it's still a vehicle that you probably won't ever catch me driving. It's just not a very good tank when it comes to the gun. And we got absolutely screwed over there. We had a couple of easy shots that just shouldn't have bounced. But that's the life of a tank that you are fully dependent on the RNG with. And it's funny, because as I mentioned before, my RNG was working pretty well, but as we can clearly see, .331 with refined gun, paired with 5.4 seconds of aiming time. It's not much of a surprise when the gun misses its shots. Either way, I'm interested to see this thing becoming a tier 9. I'll keep you guys posted on the statistical changes that it's going to be receiving, and whether or not this is a tank you should buy. In my opinion, no. I would not buy the T-2020. I don't think this is a tank that's very exciting. And even if it does come to the stores fairly cheap, I think that you should focus your efforts more towards the Tornvan or even Skoda T-27, which are also becoming tier 9s. But you guys can let me know in the comments. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.